All right, thanks, guys. We are currently hitting at 69% in our last 14 college basketball package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we got ourselves a nice little slate of college basketball action here today. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm actually going to start with a game that's not currently on our screen. But definitely a game of interest, and we're actually going to take it into the Ivy League. I'm talking about Monmouth taking on Princeton, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. That's actually at Princeton. The Tigers are the 6.5-point favorite at home, total at 138 and a hook. Now, we did see a half a point move toward Princeton and movement upward on the total. The Tigers open as the 6-point favorite, up to minus 6.5. Total open 137, up to 138 and a hook. 61% of the consensus are leaning toward Princeton, 67% shaded toward the under, and right now Monmouth is plus 245 on the money line. Now, Monmouth has won 3 out of their last 4 games. They're also 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. Monmouth is shooting 73% from the stripe, and they're led by Dion Hammond, who's averaging 15 points a game, 3 rebounds. They're also led by Ray Salnave, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and Mustafa Traore, who's bringing down 7 rebounds a game. Now, Princeton on the other side, just 1-6 straight up on the year, 2-5 against the spread in those 7 games. They're averaging just 69 points per contest. They're also giving up 79 points per game. Their opponents are shooting 52% from the field, which is remarkable. That's incredible. They're also allowing their opponents to shoot 43% from downtown. Now, total-wise, Princeton is 2-0 to the over in their last 2. Monmouth 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games themselves. There must be something I don't know here, because this seems like a clear-cut pick for Monmouth. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and lean Monmouth plus 7 and the over 138.5 in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Maryland taking on Penn State, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Bryce Jordan Center. Now, we have ourselves a good old-fashioned pick'em contest in this one with the total at 141. Maryland did open as the 1-point favorite. Since then, we saw a 1-point fade of the Terrapins. We also saw movement downward on the total as well. Maryland opened as the 1-point favorite down to a pick'em contest. Total open 145.5 down to 141. 64% are leaning Maryland, 57% shaded toward the under. Penn State losers in 2 out of their last 4. They also failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5. Their opponents are shooting 34% from downtown. Meanwhile, Maryland, they rank number 4 in the country. They're 10-0 straight up overall in the year, and they were actually favored in every one of those games. So by default, they are a perfect 10-0 straight up as the favorite. They have marquee wins over the likes of Illinois, Notre Dame, Marquette, Temple, and Rhode Island. Anthony Cowan having a great season. He's averaging 17 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Jalen Smith, 14 points a game, 10 rebounds. The big guy averaging double-digit rebounds. Jalen Smith also averaging 2 blocks per game. And Aaron Wiggins, he's bringing down 6 rebounds a game, 11 points for him. This Maryland offense, they're averaging 78 points a game. They also rank 15th they're ranked in the top 15 in offensive rebounding in the country. Now, defensively, really, really tough to penetrate and score on these guys. Maryland's giving up just 60 points per contest. They rank in the top 35 in points allowed in the country. They also rank in the top 20 in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting just 36% from the field. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Maryland's last 3 on the road got over the number. Meanwhile, Penn State 4-2 to the over in their last 6. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean Maryland winning this one outright and the over 141 in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Louisville taking on Texas Tech, and that is a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Cardinals are -6 on the road here. Totals at 125. We actually saw a 1-point fade of Louisville and movement downward on the total. The Cardinals open as the 7-point favorite, down to -6. Total open 128, down to 125. 65% are leaning Louisville, 52% shaded toward the over. Right now, Texas Tech is plus 220 on the money line. Jamius Ramsey is listed as questionable with a hammy for the Raiders. Texas Tech, losers of their last 3 straight. They're also 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Defensively, their opponents are shooting 34.4% from downtown. Louisville, on the other side, they're averaging 77 points per contest. They rank in the top 20 in offensive field goal percentage, shooting 50% from the field. They're also shooting 39% from downtown. That stat not in Texas Tech's favor, considering their opponents already shooting 34.4% from downtown. So anyway, once again, Louisville shooting nearly 40% from beyond the arc. Jordan Nwora, 22 points a game, 7 rebounds for him. Steve Enoch, 7 rebounds, 11 points. And Dwayne Sutton, 8 rebounds, 2 assists for him. This Louisville squad successfully covered the number in their last 3 straight. And of course, they are 9-0 straight up overall in the year. They're ranked number 1 in the country, and they are undefeated. Now, total-wise, we're looking at a Louisville squad who went 3-0 to the under in their last 3. 4 out of their last 5 also stayed under the number as well. Texas Tech is 60% to the under in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean Louisville -6 and the under 125 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Tuesday's college basketball action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we are hitting at 69% in our last 14 college basketball package plays on that site. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 24 board member package plays on that site as well. We do daily premium picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 per month. I'm actually at the end of the show going to explain to you the difference between what I do here on YouTube and that Patreon page. You're probably wondering, well, why would I subscribe to Patreon when I can just get it for free on YouTube? Well, I'll tell you the difference at the end of the show. My record is great on that site, and you can actually check that out right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into a couple more games here for tonight. Our next matchup is going to be St. Joe's taking on Temple, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia. Temple's -11, total 146.5. We saw a 2-point fade of Temple and movement upward on the total. The Owls open as the 13-point favorite, down to -11. Total open 144, up to 146 and a hook. 53% are leaning St. Joe's, 62% shaded toward the under. Right now, St. Joe's is plus 530 on the money line. Now, the Hawks have lost their last 7 straight. They're shooting just 38% from the field. And of course, the Hawks, that's St. Joe's, by the way. Once again, they lost their last 7 straight. They're shooting just 38% from the field. They're also shooting just 29% from the three-point line. Their defense is allowing 80 points per game. And, their opponents are shooting 40.2% from downtown. Now, Temple on the other side, 6-2 straight up overall, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They covered against Davidson, Texas A&M, Maryland, and USC. They rank in the top 30 in points allowed. They're giving up just 60 points per contest. They also rank in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage, just 35% in that category there. Quentin Rose is averaging 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Nate Pierre-Louis, 9 rebounds a game, 3 assists, 12 points, and 3 steals. Total-wise, 7 out of Temple's last 8 stayed under the number. They're also 3-0 to the under in their last 3 as well. Give me Temple -11 and the under 146.5 in that game. And I'm going to slide my next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Butler taking on Baylor. 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Bears are -6, and that's the Bears of Baylor. They are -6, total at 131. We saw a 1-point move toward Baylor and movement upward on the total. Baylor open 5, up to -6. Total open 130.5, up to 131. 57% are leaning Butler, 65% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Bulldogs of Butler are plus 215 on the money line. Butler's also undefeated on the year, 9-0 straight up on the year, 7-2 against the spread in those 9 games. They're in the top 20 in offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting 49.6% from the field and 37% from downtown. Kamar Baldwin, 17 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Bryce Inzie, 11 points a game, 7 rebounds. Butler ranks in the top 10 in points allowed in the country. They're giving up just 56 points per contest. They also rank in the top 3 in defensive rebounding. Baylor, on the other side, failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4 at home. Their offense is shooting just 43% from the field. Now, Baylor, their last 2 games all stayed under the total, 2-0 to the under in their last 2. Butler, 6-3 to the under themselves in their last 9. I'm going to lean Butler plus 6 and the under 131 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again, we are hitting at 69% in our last 14 college basketball package plays on that website. I like Butler plus 6 under 131. Temple minus 11 under 146.5. Louisville minus 6 under 125. Maryland winning that one outright in the over 141. And last but certainly not least, I like Monmouth plus 7 in the over 138.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are hitting at 63% in our last 24 board member package plays on that site. Shout out to Whiplash 95, Drew Bear 76, Just Miley, Caillou Rowe D3. Shout out to Sexy B, Edmund Russell, Darren Chambers, Stephen Lewis, LeBron 913, Jack Kiefer, Salvador Morales, Ephraim Corpus, Calvin Ballard, C. Chung FTW, Tenacity Furlan, Little Big People, Evil Dax, Omar Villasenor, Danny J, Daily Sports Grind, Vernon Williard, and last but certainly not least, shout out to Lane Eternal Master. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we are hitting at 69% in our last 14 college basketball package plays on that site. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 24 board member package plays on that site as well. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the difference between what you do here on YouTube and your Patreon page? Why pay for Patreon when I can get all the picks for free right here on YouTube? Well, that's a great thought, and that's a great question. Let me just explain it to you like this. What we do here on YouTube is we pretty much handicap almost every single game on the board, both the side and the total. We're basically we're throwing darts, we're pitching horseshoes here, we're throwing hand grenades. Essentially, if you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game, side and total, that is not a formula for success. You're guaranteed to lose in the long run. And as a matter of fact, you're probably going to end up losing in the short run as well. The books are too smart, they're too sharp, the math is always against you, they have too much damn money. It's just not a winning proposition. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and focus in on the 3 to 4 premium high percentage selections per day. They're games that I personally have action on, and I'll tell you this much, my current record on Patreon is a whole lot better than it is throwing darts, handicapping every single game on the board, side and total on YouTube. And as a matter of fact, you can actually check out my current record for free right now. It's right on the homepage. Just click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I do have to thank you for watching me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.